Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you are a returning subscriber. I appreciate you very much. Today we are going to be discussing more breast reduction stuff because there's so little information out there, and I know that I relied so much on people's personal experiences when I was deciding to go for my breast reduction. So this is for all of you out there looking for support and more information, trying to figure out whether or not you're ready and whether or not this is the right decision for you. Today we're going to be discussing 5 questions that you should ask yourself before deciding to go through with the surgery. So some of these things are things that I wish I had thought more about, and some of these things are things that I did think thoroughly about and that I'm really glad that I did. So first of all, we're going to talk about doctors. So I visited, I researched like 20 of them around my area, and even not in my area. I live in Connecticut, and I researched all over Connecticut and also New York, and I also researched some surgeons in Florida because I do have family down there, and I have an aunt who did her surgery there and was really happy with the results. So I was looking down by Miami and West Palm Beach, and also up where I am in the Northeast. So the way that I found my doctor was really just Google searching and looking through reviews from other people to see their experiences, and also going on her website to see the kind of results that she gave, because all of these surgeons have before and after pictures on their websites, and I think those are really important to look at. So when you're asking yourself who you should go to for this surgery, it's also really important that you meet them in person. So I met 2 doctors in person. I think I already said that. Oops. But I met 2 doctors in person, and one of them I did not like at all. She was actually closer to me than the doctor that I ended up going to, and she also used the hospital that I go to if I ever need to go to the hospital, so it was going to be very convenient if I decided that I wanted to go through and have her perform the procedure, but it did not click. I was really not comfortable with her. I feel like a lot of times in the plastic surgery kind of industry, there are a lot of people who are kind of judgmental about other people's bodies, and I got a very hostile vibe from her that you know, the way that I looked was somehow wrong. You know, she was making comments about just wasn't the nicest person. It was very passive-aggressive and just not something that I was comfortable with at all. So I walked out of that appointment and I was super upset because she was the first doctor I visited, and I actually didn't end up going to anyone after that for like a year, and that kind of really messed me up. So when I finally went back to another doctor, I found my surgeon in a couple of towns over. She was so warm, and you know, I met all of the physicians that she works with in her office. She had her own private practice, and she was so incredibly kind and welcoming, and made me feel really comfortable and really excited about the results that I was going to get. And that is how you should feel. So when you're looking for a doctor, you should be asking yourself, how do I feel about this person? Do I feel comfortable around them? Do I feel like this is someone who I trust with my body? Because obviously this is a decision that is not easily reversed. So you want to make sure that you're getting the right person and that you're feeling comfortable throughout the experience, because it is important that you have a good experience. You're doing this for yourself and for your health, and it should not be super stressful. It should not be an uncomfortable or awkward or you know, any kind of experience that makes you feel bad about yourself. Don't let anybody make you feel bad about yourself. I don't care if they're a doctor and they're telling you that you need to do this and you need to do this. If you're not comfortable with those decisions and they're going to impact your life in what you feel is a negative way, go somewhere else, really, and get other opinions. Because just because it's a doctor telling you something does not mean that it is, you know, the final, you know, there's no other word on it. Different medical experts have different opinions, because it's just the way that it is. So make sure that you're comfortable with your doctor. That is just the #1. So another question that I think everyone asks themselves, and you should before you have a breast reduction, is if you plan on having kids and when. So I am 18 years old, almost 19, but I got my breast reduction when I was 18, and I know that I do want to have children, hopefully one day. But I also know that I don't want to have kids for like a good, 8 to 10 years. So I have a lot of time to recover from this surgery. And I also spoke with my surgeon about it, and we talked about the kind of technique that she was using, in which none of the nerve endings were getting cut, so that I would have the highest possible chance of being able to breastfeed. So that's really awesome. So if you're going to have kids, you have to make sure that it's something that you think about, and that it's something that you discuss with your surgeon if it's a concern to you that you want to be able to breastfeed. Also, if you think that you want to have children soon, I think that perhaps you might want to wait until after you have had children for this procedure, because pregnancy changes your body drastically, obviously, including your breasts. So you may do this procedure, put your body through a lot, perhaps even put your finances through a lot if you're not going through insurance, which I didn't, and we'll talk about that. And you are going to then see those results be probably completely changed, perhaps undone, after you've had children. So if you're gonna have children within the next year or two, you think, then maybe wait until afterwards, and then afterwards, when you're done breastfeeding, you can reassess and say, okay, I'm done with these, and either get your lift or your breast reduction, or both. Another thing is how you are going to pay. This is like an awkward question. I personally don't like talking about money, but I did pay for this surgery completely by myself, not with my parents' money, not with insurance's money, because I live in the United States. And here, what I was told by doctors is that if you go through your insurance will pick how much breast tissue they take out. That is something that I personally was not comfortable with. I wanted breasts that I was happy with, that matched my body. I wanted to get rid of the excess where it was, because, even though a large portion of it was that I was physically uncomfortable and in pain a lot of the time, another big part of why I got my breast reduction was because I was really uncomfortable with the way that I looked as well. And you shouldn't have to be uncomfortable with the way that you look. So why would I go through this surgery and then potentially be just as unhappy as I am now with the way that as I was before with the way that I looked? You know what I mean? So I chose to go through with paying for myself, and I do not regret that decision at all. I'm very happy with my surgery and the way that it looks, the way that I feel. I own one bra, and then everything else is just I wear bralettes or no bra at all, and my life is great. So you do have to think about if you're going to pay yourself or if you're going to go through insurance. If you live in another country, I don't really know how your insurance works, sorry, but it's something that you definitely need to research and go into asking those awkward questions about, maybe it's not awkward for you, but it's awkward for me, asking those questions about cost when you are meeting with doctors. So there's a big caveat. So the fourth question that I would recommend that you ask yourself is why you are doing this. Are you doing it because people tell you that you should? Are you doing it because people tell you that you shouldn't and you're trying to be a little bit defiant? Are you doing it because you are uncomfortable with the way that you look and feel? I think you need to make sure that this is something that you're doing for the right reasons, because it happened to me that on the day of my surgery, not just on the day of my surgery, okay, but, I had gone through the motions of, getting my breast reduction and going through all the processes, and it had been a long time and it felt like it went by very quickly. from the moment that I like found a doctor and then, you know, everything happened. It happened quickly. And I came to this moment, and it was while they were putting me under that as I was falling asleep, was thinking, oh my God, why am I doing this? And it wasn't like a feeling of regret, like, oh my God, I want to stop. It was this feeling of, I haven't really considered much, you know, what this means for me. Am I doing this because I'm uncomfortable with the way that I look? Is that enough of a reason? Because I feel like a lot of it for me was that I was really uncomfortable with the way that I looked. And I was wondering if that was reason enough. I mean, I was also really uncomfortable pain-wise, but I do have a high pain tolerance. But there were nights where I would wake up crying because of how bad the pain was. And that's not a way that you should have to live. That's not a way that I should have had to live. And I'm glad that I don't anymore. But it's something that you have to think about is, why are you doing this? Are you doing it to make yourself happy? Are you doing it to make somebody else happy? If you're doing it to make somebody else happy, I don't think that's enough reason whatsoever to make, you know, this major decision. You're always taking a risk whenever you're going under anesthesia and somebody is, you know, cutting into you. That's really not a minor decision, even though, you know, like, you're not gonna like die, I get it. But it's always a risk. And there is a recovery period, and you know, it's a big decision, which is why you're looking at videos on it probably. But I strongly believe that it is something that you should really be thinking through, which leads me to the last question, which is, how will this affect your life? So this kind of wraps everything together. How is it going to affect your finances? Are you going to be struggling afterwards because of this decision? Are you prepared for those consequences? Are you prepared for possibly not being able to breastfeed? Because there's no guarantee that you will be able to. There's a high chance, but it may be more difficult, it may be painful, it may not be possible at all. And you have to be okay with those risks. But also, how will it affect your life positively? How are you going to sleep better? How are you going to feel better about yourself? And weigh all of those things. Like, if you're saying that this is going to put me in, you know, a crippling financial situation, but like, I'll feel cuter. I don't know, me personally, like, if I hadn't been able to afford it, I wouldn't have done it. But it was a situation where I had the money to do it for myself. Because I'm a big saver, and I did it. So it's something where you have to kind of create that pros cons list and decide what the overall impact on your life is going to be, and if it's going to be overall positive, then that's something that you should do. That is all. Thank you guys so much for watching. From the bottom of my heart, I love you all so much, and I really hope that you find happiness with your body, with yourself, with your image, with the way that you look, with the way that you feel. I just want you to be happy. I love when you guys leave me comments about your personal stories or questions in the comment section. I love it so much. So please don't be afraid to shoot some comments. I always reply or like them when there's something really sweet. And you guys are so freaking sweet. I love you so much. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you have not already, because more videos are yet to come. They are kind of sparing lately because college is no joke, but I promise I'm gonna try. That's kind of the promise that I can make right now. Bye guys.